in that aspect, I know we have differences dealing with the Bible, and she's my mother. You know what I'm saying? So I had to ask her. I was like, okay, we're gonna keep it logical. You know, where in the Bible, you know, does it explain how did they get the name Yahweh or Jehovah or any other of these names? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all through the Bible, you couldn't. They didn't give no explanation. They haven't given an explanation of the names that they've got. You know, and
Okay.
so I said, okay, well, let's go to Exodus. You know, read the chapter where Moses was talking to our Lord in the bush, and
Okay.
you know, he was saying that I am that I am. So when the people come to you and say, well, who has sent you unto us? Say, I am have sent me. You know, and that was going to be my name for all generations. And I asked her, what is generations, Mama? She was like, you know, generations, forever. You know, and, you know, it's just logically, you know what I'm saying? She grew up in a church, you know, and they was telling her all these lies, you know, but they never got down to it logically. They always gave it without explanation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know, it's just stuff to put on the front lines, you know, that you got to shoot.
Brother, that's a blessing because the knowledge, let me tell you, the knowledge of the Most High to understand is really simple. It's really simple if you're not coming from a programmed society. It's like we have to first attack the programming and then teach you what you should know anyway. The example I can give on that, going into the name. I hear so much pushback from brothers and sisters all over the place. Where did you get this new name from? My question is, where did you get this new name from?
Exactly.
Because the Most High didn't tell us his name was Yahweh. That's new. That came from the Masoretes. And then I asked, then they said, well, prove to me that his name is Ahia. And I come back, prove to me that his name is Yahweh.
Mm.
And then they're or Yahweh or Jehovah.
Right.
And you know, and then what I can prove to you is that it was injected, and I can give you the dates of when it was injected. Under the Masoretes, I can actually give brothers and sisters the history of the dates in which they opened up our records and injected their own God's name into our Hebrew records, then linked up with the Catholic Church to give us Jehovah so that we can worship Satan in English. All right? So I thank the Most High, and it's important. And some people might say, well, that doesn't matter. Okay. What's your name, brother?
Thaddeus.
Your name is Thaddeus?
Yes, sir.
Well, brother, I think your name is George. I think
Why
your name is Bob.
Oh, I get
you. You understand?
Right.
So it doesn't matter. How can you communicate with people every day and yet not communicate with your God?
Right. I get it.
And then people say, well, God know me. Or God know my heart. Well, of course he know you and he know your heart. That's why he guided you to the point of truth. But the problem is not whether or not the Most High know you. The problem is, do you know him?
Know the Most High.
That's
right.
the question. Because he's going to present you the truth. He tell you, time and chance happen to all men. So you're going to get the truth.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me link some add something to that, right? I've never encountered it, but when you get Israelite groups, right, who hold on to the name Yahweh or Jehovah, and they say to you that the name doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be the same thing like the Christians telling you that Jesus is his name and it doesn't matter?
Yeah. Exactly, Brother Gocc. So my point is, why is it now it doesn't matter, but when the Christians was calling on Jesus, you told them that wasn't his name.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Right.
Good point. Great point. Well, brother, thank you, brother. And let me tell you, even when things are down, things are destitute, or when you think that, okay, you're alone or whatever the case is, brother, you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I said it to a few people the other day. You have to realize we were raised to bear witness to the truth. But all in all, when you really look at it, a lot of brothers and sisters are linking into this truth because they're bear witnessing to what they believed already, but didn't say anything because you're dealing with a society that can't accept truth.
Right.
So when brothers contact us and link with us and say, well, thank you, brother, and listen, the reason y'all linked in is because your spirit bear witness to what was in you already. The spirits of Christ was with Christ in the beginning. And when you hear some truth that you always understood but really couldn't put it together, that's what links you in with truth. The only thing we're doing is putting the thing, what we're really doing is filling in some of the gaps so that you can make a conscious decision to understand the truth. That's all we're doing. Because it's going to come a time where no man can teach you but the Holy Spirit. All right? So I want to put that out there.
Yes,
all right.
Brother Thaddeus, thanks for the call and the question. Wow, we've got questions piling up, man. Let's try and do them real quickly so we can get back to what we were talking about before. We got Brother Sam with a question. Can we get him in?
Yeah, shalom, Akim.
Shalom.
Yeah, I got a question for Elder Ricard. I've been trying to get it to you right quick. I'm in the academy, and I think when we was talking about the virgin birth of Mary, of Christ, I had asked a question about her lineage, and you said something about when it was one of the sentences, I think, in parentheses. Now, I don't know if I heard it wrong or whatever like that. I wanted to ask a question about Hebrews 10:7. When it says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O power, O God. I'm asking, is that one example of it, or you wasn't saying all parentheses?
I didn't. Listen, when you see something in parentheses, it absolutely wasn't there in that same context.
Okay.
It wasn't there in that same context in the original Hebrew. They actually put the parentheses there to make it what you would call legible in English.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes, sir. So, do you know exactly what was there, or it's not something different? Yeah.
Well, what you have to do to understand that, if you're looking at the virgin birth, all right, you have to look at the fact that after David, in the lineage of Luke, the son lineage goes to who? Nathan. And then the names change in the book of Luke, the 3rd chapter, right?
Yes, sir.
When you go to Matthew, the 1st chapter, and look at David, the lineage is Solomon, whom the Most High promised that Christ would sit on that throne under David. So you would see the lineage in Matthew links directly to who?
Solomon.
But down to who?
But down to Joseph.
Is it down to Mary in Matthew, the 1st chapter, or is it down to Joseph? Or is it down to the father?
It's down to Joseph.
Exactly. So, if that's the lineage in Matthew, which links directly to Joseph, and it's only 2 people that have children, mother and father, who is the lineage of Luke to?
Got to be the Mary.
Is there anybody else?
No,
Is there
sir.
anyone else?
Okay.
So if you can, all you have to do is take them into Matthew and show the lineage cannot be Mary in Matthew, the first chapter.
Okay.
And the point is, you go to Luke, the third chapter, you know that that's not Joseph's lineage. It must be Mary's lineage. And that more so proves that more so gives, put a stamp on that so-called virgin birth thing. Because the promise was not made to Nathan. The promise was made to David from Solomon's lineage down to Joseph's, not Mary's lineage.
Okay.
You got that?
Yes, sir. And as far as there in Hebrews 10:7, that was what was exactly written there, or we saying?
Well, the book of Hebrews, it was in parentheses, so that in that context was not there the same. All right? So what you got to do is you have to link that. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm saying here.
Okay.
One moment here. Even though this is a lesson question here. Let's go to Hebrews 10.
All
so
right.
you can make it fit. You there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I need you to read Hebrews 10:6.
All right. Hebrews 10:6. And burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin thou hast had no pleasure.
Okay.
Verse
You at 10:6. Now read 10:7.
Okay, 10:7, okay. Verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come, in the volume of the book it is written of me, to do thy will, O God.
Okay, finish read.
Above when he said sacrifice and offerings and burnt offerings and offering for sins thou wouldest not, neither has pleasure.
Okay, before you go there, I need you to go to Psalms 40:7.
Okay. Okay. Psalms chapter 40, verse 7. Then said I. Okay. Then
go ahead.
Said I. You said read it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Then said I, Lo, I come, in the volume of the book it is written of me.
Okay, now we know that was there. That's Hebrew. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you go to Hebrews is the books of the Hebrews. Go to Hebrews 10:7 and read it without the words in parentheses.
Okay. Then said I, Lo, I come to do thy will.
You read it again. You're right. Read it again.
Okay. Verse 7. Then said I, Lo, I come to do thy will, O God.
I come to do thy will, O God. Now, Hebrews is a compilation of stories from the Hebrew records.
Okay.
You understand? It's not a man's or a record that was made strictly from one disciple. It's a record or compilation of the Old Testament. So when you see it have excerpts from what's in the Old Testament. Read the book of Hebrews. It's a reference, a New Testament reference of the Old Testament. So that's why it's written like that there.
Okay, that's very clear. And that lets me know, I know that this is the truth. Because I know, like the scripture said, that the truth is straight. No doubt about it or nothing. And just off those few words, you just cleared that up all the way for me, and I appreciate it. And
well, thank you.
Yeah, brother, stay strong. Shalom.
All praise be to the Most High. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, where we are, God, talk to me. Is God just still with us, or?